Hello everyone. So this is the fountain that we'll be making. If this is something you want to learn, then please continue. Otherwise, just don't waste your time. Time is precious. So hi. So this is the fountain that we'll be making using the particle effect in Unity. So here are the particles that create the fountain, and there's some foam down there that will be like when it collides with the ground. So let me delete the particle system for now. So what I basically have here is the fountain scene. This just consists of the main camera and directional light. If you create a new project, you will have these two. And then there's a plane. I've just added a texture that I got from the internet, the ground texture on the material here in the albedo. Just pick it up and drop it down there, and then drop the material on the plane, or maybe wherever you want to. Like if I do it on the cube, cube to cement. There's a cement texture. I have a cement texture as well. All right, so let's go ahead and create the particle effect. So I'll click the cube. So the cube is just like the base for the fountain, like it's just the foundation. So let's start. And yeah, remember one thing, that do turn off the box collider. Like check it off, the box collider on the cube, because you don't want to go into layers and collision, like which layer to collide with, because this is not a layer specific tutorial. So just remove the box collider, or yeah, either remove the component or just check it off. And then let's go into the cube and add effect and add a particle system. So this is something like this you will see. And then so what I will do is, if you can see here properly, so I'll make the duration 1 second, and then we don't need any start delay. Start lifetime to something like point 5 for now, and start speed to something like 10. And that's not the like most important part here right now, because what we need is the fountain like effect. First of all, let's go here and change the rate over time to 100 so we can see it properly. Then inside shape, go to the shape, like the shape option, and choose a hemisphere, sorry, choose a circle. Okay, so choose a circle. So right now if you go to the scene view, you'll see that the circle is like not properly aligned. So what you need to do is just rotate it around the x axis. As you can see, the x axis is this one, and we want to rotate it around this. So now it's properly aligned, and let's move it up a bit and reduce the radius to something like 0.1. Yeah, that's properly settled inside the cube right now. Yeah, so this is what we have right now. Now we want the particles to shoot upside. That's how the fountain works. So we will choose velocity over lifetime. If this is not visible, I'll try to make it a bit bigger. Okay, so I will do the velocity over lifetime, and inside velocity over lifetime I will choose the y velocity to be 10 to start with. Now that goes a bit too fast, as you can see right now. So if I see here, it goes like, it goes up, basically it goes up, it doesn't come down. That's because we haven't added a gravity modifier yet. So if we go up here in the particle systems basic properties, you'll see here gravity modifier. So let's change it to 4. Now you can see that those particles are going up and then coming down. So let's tweak some values here and there and make it look like a fountain. So if I make the velocity here to 15, actually I don't remember what I did, like what values I had that time, because I thought it will be totally new this time. Okay, so and as you can see, the particles are disappearing a bit too fast. So let's change the start lifetime to 0.9. Yeah, that's fine. And change the gravity modifier maybe a bit more, 5. Let's keep it at 3, I guess. No. Okay, fine, 5 is fine. And you can just keep moving these, keep like playing around with these values and test whichever you find best. So this is something you see right now. So for now I'll just come back here and click on the main camera, go to game object and align with view. That will center my that will bring my camera to exact position in the scene view that I am. And so if I go here now as you can see we have something we can call a fountain if in some kind of game if we make. So let's next thing that we want to do is we want to add some particles, right? Like something that is not the default particles. So let's go inside the materials, and instead of particle lit you want to search for sprite, and there you will get sprite default. Let's select the sprite default. Currently as you can see the sprite default doesn't look so good. So next thing I want to do is like we want some texture sheet animations in the particle system. So we will check it, and then we will change the mode from grid to sprites. And now let's head over to GIMP. Now inside GIMP just create a new file, or GIMP or whatever software you're using. I am just using GIMP, so I said GIMP. So like if you're using Photoshop, or just choose a brush of your choice, whatever kind of it is, and just make 3 different kind of like droplets for water, and then export it and import it inside your Unity project. I'm sorry. So once that's inside your Unity project, like I have it here, so then go inside go inside the texture type and change it to sprite 2D and UI, and sprite mode to multiple, because we have 3 sprites here. And then I'll apply. Let's go to sprite editor and go to slice and type automatic and slice. Now if you see we have I clicked on this icon, this shows it in the black and white. So we have 3 of these, and we have these 2 extra ones. Let's delete those. Those were created because of some gaps. Okay, so now we have these. I'll hit apply. Now if I go here I'll see that I have 3 of these. Okay, so I'll go to the particle system, and inside the I'll create 3 spaces. I'll bring the first one in, the second one in, and the third one in. And for now I'll just choose frame over time to be just like default. I'll just keep it at that. And as you can see we have droplets, but they don't look so nice right now. So let's change the size back and make this start size 2.2. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, and next thing we want to do is add a bit of color of water, something like that, and maybe decrease the opacity a bit. Play around with your values. Maybe you want a yellow fountain or something. That's your choice, completely totally your wish. Okay, so I chose a color. Let me reduce the size a bit more to 0.1. Yeah, that's fine. Once you are done with that, then after that let's start tweaking the rate over time values a bit. So if we change it to 1000, now you can see we have a pretty decent looking fountain right now. So let's tweak the values of start speed and gravity modifier a bit. So if I make the start speed to 10, these go like too far. Or just keep playing around with these values and choose whichever one you like. I like this, something like this. Yeah, this looks great, right? So I'll just go here, good view. I think that this one's fine. Then again I'll select the camera, go to game object and align with view. Now if you see the particle system, you will see that it's falling down from the plane. It's not actually colliding with it. So we need to add collisions for that. So we will go here, inside collisions, we'll check it, and in collisions we will change it to world. Now that makes it collide and then bounce back. So we want the dampen, like we want dampen to be a bit up. So let's damp it by like 0.6. Yeah, that now the droplets fall on the ground. Just don't jump off too much. You can see in the game view they don't jump too much. And I'll change the bounce to be 0.5. Just playing around with the values, just whichever you find best. that. Now if you do it in the editor, it will take some time, at 1,000 particles it will take some load. So what I will suggest you to do is just go enter the play mode, and whatever changes you make, we'll do something like we'll copy the component from here, we'll copy the component and then we'll paste it outside the play mode. So now as you can see, we have some collisions, but right now particles are not destroying themselves. They are like staying there for a while. So first of all, let's add some lifetime loss here. So let's add a lifetime. Now lesser particles condensed at that point in the bottom of the fountain. Okay, so and now next thing we want to do is right now these look too bright. Yeah, that looks something like water. Okay, and so let's add some color over lifetime. I'll just go here and in the canvas, actually it might be bluish because my editor color is I have changed it to blue when it's in the play mode, and yours might not be that way. So maybe in the start it's like this, and in the end we'll change the opacity to be a bit lower. Yeah, so that way the opacity of this will be a bit lower when it's at the end of its lifetime. Like the particles start with the full color here and then slowly fade away when they go from all the way from here to here. Okay, next thing what we want to do is we want to add some foam when the particles collide with the grounds, that whitish fog thing that's being created. So first of all, what you want to do is go here and copy component on the particle system, click copy component, and then exit out of play mode. Inside the particle system, select paste component values. So that will save our particle system right there. Now one thing you will notice when I start the the game, when I click on the play button, the particles start coming from out from the fountain, while maybe in a realistic game you don't want this. So you should check this pre-warm button. So if you check the pre-warm, so in that way the particles will be right away, like in their actual sense, like let's say one iteration is done. Now one more thing you can do is you can play around with the values, increase the particle count. Now right now you see that something strange is happening here. They're not coming like continuously. So what's happening is like 2000 particles are being created every second, but we have max particles to 1000, so we can change it to 10,000. We see that it's now continuous. Okay, so if this is something you like, it's right there for you. Next thing, there are some things in the shape that you can play around with. So in the mode, in the shape, go to arc, and in mode, in the mode, if you select loop, you will see something funny like this, and I think it looks cool. If you want something like that, something like that kind of effect, you can have that for your game. Like I think that looks cool. So that's completely your choice, and there's ping pong as well, right? And then there's burst spread, which is another I think this one looks a cold fountain as well, but I'll just keep it to random, so it just keeps falling all over. You can choose whichever one you like, so I'll just keep those settings to back what we kept at that time. Next thing I want to do is let's create a particle system, duplicate this. Okay, and in this, in the emissions, we will change the rate over time to 0. We don't want any particles to emit continuously. We just want one burst of particles like that. Okay, and we want the duration to be really small, like 0.5, and we want the start lifetime to be something like 0.6, and we want the particle color to be white. Also the color over lifetime to be checked off, that way they will be completely white. And we will change the shape from circle to anything, like it won't matter, because at that point the particles will be just coming at a really, like they will be really small in size. So let's change the start size to 0.05. Now that those are some really small particles right there. So let's change a name of this particle system, the smaller one to fog or whatever, I'll call it foam, and the bigger one to fountain. Okay, so now if you'll see that the foam is just created once, and just check out the looping. And now if you'll see, we have an option called sub emitters here. So if we click sub emitters, we want to create sub emitters at the collision. When they collide, we want sub emitters to emit particles, and then we will choose a particle effect and drop it. We'll choose the foam and drop it inside the particle system option here. It will ask us if we want to reparent it. Yes, reparent. Now this will probably put some load on your PC if this is not if your PC is something like mine. It is okay. Now you see, when we collide, particles are being created definitely, but not something we want, not something we exactly want, right? So what's happening is these particles also have the same kind of velocity and gravity modifier. So first of all, let's make the gravity modifier something like 1. Oh, sorry, we changed the gravity modifier on the fountain actually. So in the foam, change the gravity modifier to 1. Now you will see that those particles just shoot off in the air as soon as the scene loads. This sucks. Okay, I'll enter the play mode right now. So as you can see, these just keep shooting upwards. That's because we have added a velocity over lifetime here, which is 15. So let's check it off. Now you see something like what you will want, a bit like what you will want. So let's change the start speed to be like 0.5, and that's pretty good looking. I think that's a pretty good looking foam effect, right? So let's copy the particle system from here, copy component, the foam, exit out of play mode, paste component values. Done that. Next we want to play around with some values inside the fountain. So let's select the fountain, let's enter the play mode. Now you'll see that foam is being created each time, like when the particles hit the ground. It's a pretty decent and pretty good looking particle system. We have a good looking fountain, I guess. I think maybe you think something else. So if I change it from collision to dash, now you'll see we have a different kind of effect. That is that some particles are not dead exactly at the time they are collided, because they bounce off and then they come to rest and then they die. Or if we make it to birth, you will see that that's also kind of cool effect. When the fountain is like flowing upside, there's some water leaking from there. So let me change it back to death. Yeah, that looks cool. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I guess we can play around a bit with the values more. So let's go to fountain. First of all, let's change that to, where was it, sub emitters. Yeah, so let's change it to dash. Yep. And if I click here and click play, so I can see it without entering the play mode. Keep saving your scenes time to time, because this is a particle system tutorial and you will be creating particle systems, and sometimes you might end up creating 2000 particles, over 2000 particles, like each particle creating 2000 particles. So make sure that you keep saving your scenes, right? Next thing, let's have some kind of some fun here. So let's go to color over lifetime, and let's choose gradient, and inside the gradient I'll change here the color to, oh, I should have entered the play mode, Okay, I will do that. Just a sec. As soon as this permits me. This is embarrassing. This is hell embarrassing. Okay, so come on, boy. Okay, Now that's greenish because in the start color was blue and then we added some velocity the color over time. So let's enter the play mode right now, so that we don't have that laggish effect. Okay, so we'll go to this and let's add a key by right clicking here and select the color to be red. Let's select a red color here. Now see, we see something, right? And then let me bring it here to this side. Okay, right click, sorry, left click, and you'll get another one, and let's add a pinkish, and again left click, and we'll select this time something like this, and left click again, something like a bluish, I guess, and left click again, and we'll get a green for this time. Now the green is not visible because the alpha is going down to almost 0, so let's bump that up back, and let's change the start color back to white. Also the particles are not dying exactly at the time like they are reaching that point, so let's bring each and every one of these color values a bit closer so we can see each one of those colors. Actually, this should have been a darker green. If that looks closer to something like something what we want. So it was just a fun activity actually. So let's head back. So let me change it back to blue. So as you can see, we have a good looking fountain right there, and you can change the values as you like. You can tweak and play around with the values, make a loop. It looks amazing, actually I love it. And then there's ping pong, this one looks cool too, and then there's our burst spread, this one looks cool as well. So whichever one you like, you're totally welcome to play around with because this I don't have control over that. And you can play around with the lifetime values as well, so you can get better results on the foam, as you can see right there. That's being created way too early because our particles are dying up in the air. Yeah, that's fine. So that's pretty much it. If you want to learn something else, let me know in the comment section, and we'll have some more fun tutorials in the coming time. Thank you for watching.